Welcome back to the channel, guys. I know it has been a long time since I have posted a video, and a lot of stuff has changed since the last video that I posted. So I kind of want to just use today to give you a rundown of kind of a couple of changes that had happened. I'll try to keep it short and sweet and not ramble on like I normally do. So I'm on my way to work right now. I felt it was a perfect time. I finally got the camera mounted in my truck the way I like it. I bought a truck. So I did end up getting rid of the Volkswagen CC to the guy that I bought it from. So he was looking actually to pick something like it up, and I jokingly made the offer that he could buy it back. And a couple weeks after that, well, he did. So I did get rid of the Volkswagen CC. I never installed the air ride that I was installing in it. Instead, I ended up installing the management, then I pulled the management out and sold that to a buddy of mine for a decent price. So I do still have the struts for the CC that I'm eventually one day gonna post up for sale, and hopefully somebody picks them up so I can get them out of my garage. Along with that, I also have the intake manifold that I never installed that I need to get rid of, and the wheels that I had on it, the M-Technicas that I had. I also need to sell those because the guy did not want the wheels. So I pulled those off, and those are also stored in my garage. So I need to have a few things I need to post for sale coming up. I just and getting the garage clean so I can put the Mini Cooper in it, so I can work on it, kind of store it out of the way for a little while. Since the last time I saw you guys, I know one of the last videos I posted was fixing the oil leak that had happened on the freeway. So I ended up replacing the oil lines, tightening everything back up, figuring out what was wrong, and took it to a car show in Sacramento. It was driving perfectly fine. Drove it to Sacramento. Had a little bit of a tick, like a valve tick to it, but you know, I still drove it to Sacramento and drove fine all the way up there, even in traffic. Up until about the way back from the car show the next day, because I had spent the day with my brother. The oil light had come on when I had stopped to get gas with Ray, because he decided to ride home with me. So when I went and stopped for fuel, started the car back up, and the oil light had come on. Couldn't figure out what it was couldn't figure out why it was on. Finally it had turned off on its own. So I started driving back home, and every once in a while the light would kick on for a little bit and then it would turn off. It wasn't like blinking or anything like that. It was just every once in a while. There was no time or mileage interval. It would just come on, and then it would shortly while after it would turn off. After a couple of times of it doing that, I just decided to pull over, have the car towed home. It's pretty much sat since then, up until a couple weekends ago. I actually used my truck to trailer the Mini down to LA area, Magic Mountain, for a show called Lead Tuner. It was a good thing. The car started having issues as we were doing roll-in. The oil light had come on again. I've been driving it on and off without having the oil light come on, you know, kind of playing with a couple of things at home. And just during roll-in, the oil light had come on and the car had started to, you know, the car temperature started to creep up. So I had shut the car off so it didn't overheat, and kind of babied it rolling into the show. Had it sit the whole show, and then on the way home, leaving the show, the hotel was only like maybe half a mile to a mile away at most. You just gotta pull out of Magic Mountain and drive down the street, and the hotel was right there. So had my buddy Jay with me for that, so he can help me tow and trailer and everything else. So I ended up getting top 50 at that show. There's about 700 cars and a little over 100 just with Envious. So quite a few cars I ended up placing in the top 50 with the Mini, which I was actually surprised about. So, you know, thank you guys for that. And ended up trailering the car home. It's been sitting pretty much ever since. I haven't even put the front bumper back on it because I trailered it without the front bumper. It's really just been sitting like that. I haven't even tried to start. I tried to start it, I think, last weekend, and it won't start because the battery died just from sitting. So I need to jump it again, but my goal is to get my garage clean in order to store the Mini in the garage and not really have to worry about it unless I'm gonna take it to a show or an event, or, you know, something we're doing with Envious. So hopefully I can get that done rather soon. That way I can also tear the motor apart, figure out what's going on. I really just want to rebuild the motor, to clean everything up. I bought a catch can and cat that need to be installed, a cam that need to be installed, and a couple other things. I just really want to, you know, clean everything up, make sure everything's clean, running correctly. I want to pull the head apart and check all the lifters and valves and everything else, possibly replace what I need to, or just rebuild the head. That way I can make sure I'm not gonna have any issues again. So I kind of want to make it a reliable car that I don't have to drive all the time. And this weekend I'm actually looking at picking up another daily driver, strictly a daily driver. I don't plan on modding it. It does have some stuff that needs to be fixed, but I think I'm looking to pick it up on Saturday coming up. And the cool thing about the car is I've actually built it previously. So it's a car that I know very well. It's a car that I built reliably. It's just aged and needs some new bushings and stuff like that is all I actually think it needs. So I'm hoping to pick it up Saturday between work and everything else. Pick it up Saturday after work and hopefully pick it up, take it home, throw it on the jacks and pull the wheels off. Definitely figure out what needs to be ordered, order the parts that I need. So as soon as those come in, I can start getting content out for you guys and get the car running so I can actually daily drive it instead of daily driving my truck, because I love the truck, it's comfortable, but daily driving it as much as I do, it does get expensive. So, you know, it's a nice truck, it's an amazing truck, but it gets expensive and it adds up, and I want something a little bit more economical. So with what I'm picking up, and I'll show you guys when I go to pick it up, I'll record all that. When I go to pick everything up, it's definitely a lot more economical. When I used to take it to work, I've taken it to work a couple of times back when I used to drive it, because I know the car that well. I have driven it to work a couple times, whether it was working on it or doing a photo shoot. I was averaging like 30 to 40 miles to the gallon. So depending on how I was driving it, just cruising on the freeway, I was getting like 40, you know, 600 to the tank, which is awesome for what it is, and it'd be a great daily, something that's a little bit more reliable than my Mini, and I know how to work on. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I've got some changes coming up for my truck. Other than that, the only real changes that have happened since the last video is, I'm almost to work, but a couple of the other changes that have happened is there's been kind of a leadership change and personnel change within Envious. Noe had ended up stepping out of Envious for a little while due to some things going on with him. And with that, I was appointed SAA by Dom. So I became second in command at WeekFest San Jose is actually when I was bannered for that. So I already have my Envious banner, but we put the Sergeant at Arms banner on at WeekFest San Jose, which was a really cool show, even though we almost ran out of gas in like every car that was there. So that had happened, and then shortly after that, I became chapter lead. Dom has ended up leaving Envious for some reasons that I really don't want to go over. And I ended up taking over as chapter lead. And with Noe gone, I had appointed Ray, who's doing really, really well at it. And then we still have Jam as our recruiter. So we have a really good leadership team. Everything's still on really fluid. We have a couple of new PMs that had just joined up, and they seem to be doing really well. They all have plans for their builds. I think Jam's actually talking to another possible PM today, and we'll see how that goes. But with Envious changes, I got my chapter lead banner at Elite Tuner by Jimmy. So that was actually a really cool and amazing feeling to actually have Jimmy banner my car and be able to get to talk to him a little bit one-on-one with what we want to do with our chapter and things like that. So things are looking up, and I'll kind of review what the truck is to you guys in one of the next couple of videos. Probably the next video, I'm going to be putting a Cars for Hearts banner on the front window because we want to get our name out there a little bit better. We did really well we did decent this year, raised a little over $7,000 for Camp Taylor, which is a camp for kids with heart disease and defects that I've been a part of almost since the beginning. I've been a part of it since like the first year that they had a camp is when I had first attended. And since then I've become anything from a counselor to, you know, junior staff counselor. And the last time I was active, the last time they had an overnight camp, I was their operations director. So that was a really cool feeling and really rewarding. So it definitely feels good to give back to them. We had less cars this year than we have had in the past, and still managed to raise a little bit more money even without me being out of pocket like I normally am. Normally I sponsor a couple of things, and this year with buying the truck right before the show as well as going on vacation, I didn't really have that extra allotted money. so I wasn't able to help sponsor it, but we still managed to raise more money, which is a really good feeling, knowing that I don't have to sponsor it. I can just put on the show and we still make up the money. So between that and everything going on, I hope that catches you guys up. If you guys have any questions, because I know this is a little sporadic, but I'm just pulling into work. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, go ahead and drop a comment below and ask away, and I'll try and answer them in the next video. So I'm just backing up into my work spot. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and feel free to ask, and I will try my best to get those answered for you guys. Until then, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.